Hello, and welcome to episode 95 of the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast. I'm Christine.
And I'm Sam.
Hey, yesterday we had a big day.
It was huge.
Yeah, it's a big day in our family. My nephew Trey and his fiancée Savannah got married yesterday.
So you can't call her his fiancée anymore.
No.
That's his wife, Savannah.
His now wife, Savannah.
So awesome.
Yeah. And Sam officiated the ceremony.
I did.
Yeah, how did you feel about it?
I gotta say, I was nervous.
Yeah, you were nervous.
I was, kind of on tenterhooks all week.
Yeah.
In the run-up to it.
Yeah.
I was really, really nervous. I was just terrified that I would screw it up in some way.
I can understand that because it's a really important day to them, and you don't want to make a mistake. And
absolutely. I mean, I know I stand up in front of people and talk all the time.
Yes.
It's not a thing. I do it on a daily basis.
Yeah, so it's not the public speaking that you were nervous about.
Not at all. I mean, it was partially the writing, and it was partially just, I don't know. I just didn't want to mess it up.
Yeah. Well, you didn't. It was beautiful. The ceremony was fabulous.
Thank you.
Yeah. A lot of people commented on how great the ceremony was. And Trey and Savannah said it was perfect.
They did. And their opinion is all that matters.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was fun. I had a good time.
It was a beautiful day. It did sprinkle a little bit right before the ceremony, but it was an indoor wedding. Indoor, outdoor, like the reception had outdoor areas that you could take advantage of, a patio and stuff like that. So it did stop raining, which was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we got to hang out for most of the cocktail hour in the patio space with my brother Owen and our niece Lucy, which was really, really great. Lucy, of course, is in recovery from a recent knee surgery, and so her parents had the brilliant idea to rent her a wheelchair for the day.
Yeah, that was a good idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because she's not real mobile yet.
No, and it would have been terrible for her to be hobbling around on the crutches.
Yeah, and, she can barely move, even on crutches.
Yeah.
So, the fact that we were able to wheel her around and even get her out on the dance floor for a little while was...
Yeah, we were
kind of great.
Wheeling her around the dance floor, which was fun. So I think she had a good time with that.
Or she was just putting up with us, and that's fine too.
Yeah. So where they held their wedding it was a former schoolhouse. It's actually called the Schoolhouse.
An appropriate name.
Yeah, and it's like on the National Register of Historic Buildings. It's really cute. It's this, what used to be like a one-room schoolhouse, and they've... renovated it. The main room where the ceremony and dining took place was the old schoolhouse.
The actual schoolhouse.
Yeah, the old original chalkboards and everything are still there, and they've kept a lot of the schoolhouse charm.
Yeah.
And then in the basement, they've renovated it into a full bar with seating and everything.
Really charming basement pub. You know, like stone walls and lots of woodwork and flagstone floors. Like I love the vibe down there. It was really
and then
great.
They have like an outdoor patio area where you can hang out, and actually a tent set up where they set up for the little ones, because there were quite a few little ones at the wedding.
Quite a few little ones at this wedding.
They had games and stuff set up for them, which was great. The kids had a great time.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome because, a wedding is not a fun affair really for little kids. Yeah. I don't think.
It can be.
Well, I mean, just if there's nothing planned for them to do. I mean, and I just thought that was a great idea. We didn't do anything like that at our wedding because we didn't have a lot of little ones.
No, we didn't.
There were actually only two, Lucy.
Also, we had a much larger room, so I think the fact that they had that outdoor space, because kids want to run around.
Oh yeah, they were. They had the whole dance floor to run around on, and they were literally bouncing off the walls.
Yeah, so I thought that outdoor space was a brilliant idea for the kids.
Yeah, it was great.
And then, hey, do you want to get into the food?
There was a lot of it.
Yeah, so after the ceremony, there was a cocktail hour and some picture taking time. And we did need to be in some of the photos, but then once we were released from our photo duties, we were able to partake in the foods that they had for the cocktail hour.
Yeah. So there was a spread of appetizers for the cocktail hour, and also the servers were doing passed plates as well with some different options. And before we go into what the food actually was, I would like to say that all of the food for this wedding was done by Make It Fabulous.
Yes.
Which is a catering company in Erie,
Pennsylvania. And they're not a vegan catering company. And I thought I heard somebody say that this was their first full-on vegan catering.
Well, I've got to say, if that is the case, they did pretty darn well.
I think they did a fabulous job. I actually emailed them earlier today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to let them know, how we appreciated the effort that they put into it, seeing how they are not a vegan catering company and how they had so many different options. And especially in the cocktail hour, there were so many different things. And like you said, the servers were walking around with, little one bite, amuse-bouche type situations. And everyone that I tried was really good.
Yeah. The standouts for me were the first appetizer we tasted, which was brought to us while we were waiting to have photos taken. And it was a little polenta cake with some roasted red pepper spread. It had kind of a hummus texture to it, which I always enjoy. And then a bit of artichoke heart on the top. And it was just a pop it in your mouth kind of a thing. And the flavor profile was just exquisite.
Yeah, the flavors were really good on that one.
Yeah. Nice texturally, but the flavors were just exquisite. And then the next one I tried was the avocado bruschetta.
Yeah, that was also very good.
Yes. So it was a lovely kind of a French bread with essentially some guacamole, or an avocado. I don't know what I want to call it.
A mash?
Yeah, like an avocado mash.
Yeah.
And then it had some fresh vegetables on top of that, some bell pepper and all of that. And that was lovely.
You can't go wrong there.
No, you really can't.
Yeah.
I mean, avocado makes everything better. It's just like Nutella.
Yeah, it was flavored very nicely.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And then there were some little phyllo cups with what I know Savannah calls cowboy caviar.
They were also calling it cowboy caviar, which is basically like a bean relish. It's like black beans and
pinto beans
and
tomato
peppers and
peppers.
onions.
Yeah.
And I love cowboy caviar.
I do too.
I love Savannah's cowboy caviar, especially.
Savannah makes amazing cowboy
but
caviar.
those little cups were really good. And put anything in philo dough.
Yeah.
And it's delicious.
It goes on the list with avocado and Nutella.
Yeah. Then they had a huge spread with tons of like fresh fruit and fresh vegetables and lots of different dips, baba ganoush and hummus and guacamole. And they had a vegan cheese dip and just vegan cheese shreds. And they had like homemade pitas.
Oh, the homemade pita was really good.
Yeah.
It was a little on the oily side, but Christine told me it was fried.
Yeah, it was fried.
And I'm not used to pita being fried.
Yeah.
But even though it was a little on the oily side, the flavor was fantastic.
It was really good.
Yeah. I had quite a bit of the pita, actually, with the guacamole.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Get you around guacamole. Yeah, look out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, the reason they had the cheese sauce and the cheese shreds were that they had some potato skins.
Those were good also.
The potato skins were also lovely. I didn't put any of the cheeses on.
I did.
Well, of course, because you love cheese.
Cheese.
I don't have as much of a connection to cheese as you do. And so I put some of the avocado, some of the guacamole
Of
on
course.
the potatoes instead.
That works.
And it was very, very good. The texture on the potato skins was lovely.
Yeah.
And they were very well seasoned.
I thought they were really good.
And then they had some wonderful falafel balls.
Yo, the falafel was good. Agreed.
Yeah, nice texture, nice flavor. Really enjoyed those. And I'm trying to think. I feel like I'm missing
So many
something.
choices,
They had some tortilla chips and salsa and hummus.
Yeah.
I mean, not hummus, guacamole. Didn't really partake of that. I think we've covered it for the cocktail hour.
Yeah.
I think that does it. Oh, wait, no, I forgot the past fresh fruit skewers.
Oh, I didn't have any of those.
Yeah, it was watermelon and pineapple skewer.
That sounds good.
Lightly seasoned. They were very nice.
I didn't get that. And was a huge dessert spread.
Oh my God.
Some of which we brought to the wedding.
Yes.
From Upper Crust Bakery here in Fredonia, New York.
Yes. Christine had gotten a birthday cake for me and for Trey at our joint birthday party last September.
Right.
And Trey and Savannah were impressed with the cake and thought they would like to get their wedding cake from Upper Crust. But they ended up not doing a big, kind of traditional 3-tier wedding cake. And
no, they just did one little personal cake for themselves and that was smart because they had so many desserts.
Well, and I think that was specifically the direction they wanted to go. They were like, cake is great, but let's do an assortment of desserts so people have stuff to choose from.
Yeah.
And so the desserts on hand were from Upper Crust. They had some of her amazing chocolate chunk cookies.
Those are so good.
And her chocolate dipped macaroons, which are also amazing. Her coconut macaroons.
The coconut macaroons are like a Mounds bar elevated 1,000 times.
Yes. And then her vegan gluten-free donut. And I tried one of those for the first time.
What'd you think?
I love them. And I'm not a donut person.
I didn't try the donuts. There was so much food.
Yes, there was. Huge amount of food. And so I tried a donut, actually shared it with Owen because Lucy had put it on her plate and she took a bite and liked it, but was like, I don't want to spoil my dinner.
Yeah.
And so Owen and I finished it off and it was very good, very light, very fluffy.
Yeah, they looked kind of light.
The frosting was very nice, not sickeningly sweet, so that was really good.
And there was like 3 flavors of those, right? 3 different flavors of donuts?
No, just 2.
2 different flavors of donuts?
Yeah, a chocolate and a vanilla. And so those were very nice. And I'm trying to think if anything. Oh, and then of course their cake, their individualized cake, their small cake, came from Upper Crust as well. But Upper Crust was not the only supplier of desserts.
No, I believe the caterer also.
No.
Oh, that wasn't the caterer that supplied those?
The caterer did not do the cupcakes.
Who did the cupcakes?
I don't know. It's a mystery. We're going to have to ask Trey and Savannah who did the cupcakes.
Okay.
Because they got some wonderful vegan gluten-free cupcakes in 3 different flavors. One was a strawberry, and I did taste the strawberry cupcake, and it was gorgeous. Like, the buttercream was outstanding. The cake was outstanding. The slice of fresh strawberry on the top was outstanding. It was a win.
I wanted to try. They had another one that was a peanut butter and jelly.
There was a peanut butter and jelly that had like this huge spiral of buttercream on top of it. It was really, really tall and had a little fresh raspberry on the top.
Yeah.
I didn't try one of those.
I didn't either. I'm so disappointed.
I also didn't try there was like a cherry, kind of like a dark forest.
It was a dark forest
cherry, like a black forest kind of thing.
Oh, that's what it was,
on.
Black forest, because I had to put the tags in them. So.
Oh, you put the tags in? Okay. And there was, big morello cherry on the top, and those looked really good as well. But again, I didn't try those. The only desserts that I tried, I've had Katie's chocolate chunk cookies many, many times, so I didn't, waste stomach space. It wouldn't have been a waste,
but let other people try them.
Yes, and let other people try them, and also, save my own stomach space for things
something
that I hadn't tried. Yeah,
exactly.
So I actually steered clear of the chocolate chip cookies and the macaroons because I've had those before. So I had a bit of donut and I had one cupcake, both of which were outstanding.
Yeah, and if that's not enough,
there was still dinner to come.
After the cocktail hour, they had of course, introduction of the new bride and groom and their first dance.
Which was adorable.
Adorable. And then dinner.
Yes.
And dinner also was a plethora of choices.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool that they didn't go with like a themed dinner.
Yeah, it wasn't like a main and sides.
It was very much, here, try a little bit of this and a little bit of this and a little bit of this. And I thought it worked really, really well. For me, though, the star of the main course were far and away the shiitake pot stickers.
Yeah, the shiitake pot stickers were
amazing.
They were good. They were good.
First, you put me anywhere near something that resembles an Asian dumpling,
anything like a dumpling,
I'm happy. I love them. They
Yeah.
are one of my favorite
And I
things.
think you got yours before they put the teriyaki, because they then put out a little teriyaki sauce. Did you get the teriyaki
I did
sauce?
not, and they didn't need them.
They didn't need it, but I had a little bit of the teriyaki sauce on mine, and it was really good.
Oh, nice. And
Yeah.
Owen also commented on the pot stickers. And Owen, of course, is not vegan. You know, given he's around us every now and again,
Yeah.
very willing to try vegan food when it pops up.
He's pretty willing to try it.
Yeah.
There was also vegan meatballs in a marinara sauce. I loved the flavor on the meatballs. Texturally, they were a little mushy, but that happens sometimes with vegan meatballs.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could have been TVP that they were using. I'm not sure what they were using. And it's so funny because you like the texture but didn't like the spice level or whatever.
No. I thought the texture was okay. We've definitely had better. I mean, we've mentioned many times that our favorite vegan meatball comes from Aldi.
Right. So, I mean, we don't have like,
Right.
we don't have like ritzy palettes or anything.
No, we don't. But just both texturally and
Texturally,
taste-wise,
yeah.
the ones that come from Aldi, the Earth-Grown vegan brand, are our favorites
Yes.
that we've tried.
Yes, but these were handmade meatballs.
These were handmade meatballs, and the texture was okay. I agree with Christine that they were a little bit mushy.
They were a little bit mushy, but I thought they tasted really good.
Well, I thought for a meatball, the seasoning went a little too far towards Italian sausage instead of meatballs. So I felt like they were kind of competing on my palate. Like
Really?
I was expecting the texture of Italian sausage because that's the taste I was getting.
Okay.
And I was expecting the taste of a meatball because that was the texture I was getting.
Yeah, so it confused your palate.
Yes. So I found the meatballs a little bit confusing. They weren't
Yeah.
bad by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, Lucy tried them and she thought they were okay. She didn't love the spice level because
Yeah.
she does not like
Spicy.
at
Yeah.
all. And these did have a little heat on them.
They did. Probably just a little red pepper flake or something.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were fine.
Uh-huh.
But I thought that there were better offerings.
Yeah. They also had a pasta dish. It was a farfalle pasta with asparagus, peas, chickpeas in an olive oil sauce. And I really enjoyed that, but you thought that it lacked flavor.
I was a little lukewarm on it. I love a pasta salad and was very glad to see this. Just having some fresh veg in amongst the pasta. Like I was really excited for it, actually. Yeah. But all I really tasted was olive oil. And so for me, even if it had had some salt and pepper in there and maybe just a little bit of, I don't know, maybe thyme or
more herbages.
More herbages.
Yeah.
It needed a little more herbage.
Yeah.
So the texture was nice. The vegetables were nice and al dente. The chickpeas were perfect.
I thought everything was perfectly cooked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That one just, it needed to be bumped up a little bit.
Maybe.
Me.
Yeah. I thought it was good. I liked it. Then they had some plant-based burger sliders.
And the sliders were good.
I mean, you can't go wrong with a slider.
You really can't.
They were just plain sliders, and then they had condiments that you could put on them, which was fun.
Yep.
I had 2 of those, and I think I finished Lucy's because she couldn't finish hers.
Right, right. And I was impressed that Lucy liked the sliders, so that was good. I had one of the sliders, and I put mustard and relish on mine because, pickles.
Yeah.
And the only thing I wished about the slider, because the texture was good, the flavor was good. I'm not sure if they used a plant-based meat like Impossible or Beyond, or if they created their own.
Yeah,
Really
I'm
hard
not
to
sure
tell.
either.
But I wished they had like some lettuce and tomato.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
I wish that there had been some toppings to go on the sliders, but as they were, texturally really nice, flavor-wise really nice.
And to be fair, there was a big green salad. You could have put lettuce and tomato on your slider.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
And I did have some of the green salad, and I just did not think to put it on my slider. So, that's all my fault.
There was also a roasted potato salad. Did you try the roasted potato salad with rosemary?
Hello?
Was it good?
Yes.
I was full by then, and I didn't even get to the other. There was a whole separate other table of food.
Well, the green salad was on the other table.
Yeah.
And so was the roasted potato salad,
Yeah.
and the roasted potatoes were very, very good.
They look good.
Yeah, they were lovely. You would have liked them. And then they also had a salad that was hearts of palm and artichoke hearts.
Yeah, I didn't try that either.
That was
looked
wonderful.
delicious.
That was wonderful. I think that alongside the shiitake pot stickers.
Yeah, it was grilled artichokes, quinoa, hearts of palm, and heirloom cherry tomatoes.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
That was just beautiful.
I love that they threw the grain in there. You know, they obviously did their research.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know how much information Trans-Savannah gave them to go on, but I love it when, like, a non-vegan restaurant or a non-vegan caterer doesn't just make a salad, they throw a grain in there.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that's always helpful.
To make it more nutritionally
balanced.
Complete.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
So that looked delicious, but like I said, I ran out of room. I maybe shouldn't have eaten that second slider.
Yeah, I think because you had the second slider, you didn't have room for other things. But I wanted to make sure to taste a little bit of everything. So.
Yeah. So the food was fantastic.
It was.
And then everybody just kind of, you know, socialized, milled around upstairs and downstairs.
And outside.
And outside. I kept like looking for people. Like, where is so-and-so? Where is so-and-so? I don't know how many times I went up and down those stairs. And then, like we said before, we were on the dance floor and wheeling Lucy around the dance floor, and that was fun.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we spent about, I'd say we spent about an hour.
Yeah.
Kind of just moving Lucy around the dance floor. Yeah. And even Owen got into the action and danced, which was great.
Yeah.
We had a little, you know, Kenny conga line going there for a bit, which was...
We had a dance off.
Yeah.
The DJ was impressed with some of Sam's dancing because you kind of went off.
I did. When there was space, there was a little bit of, you know, stuff.
Give her room on the dance floor. Look out. Look out. At our wedding, I couldn't get Sam off the dance floor.
This is true.
You were on the dance floor all night long.
It's true.
Yep.
Yes. I was younger then, though.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So all in all, I think it was a beautiful day. It was fantastic. It was a fantastic wedding. I'm so happy for the both of them. I only broke down twice. Once during the ceremony, and I cried during their first dance.
Well done.
So.
Well done.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to mention something, and you don't have it on your outline because it's something that came into me that I didn't get a chance to add on before I emailed it to you. But there's a new food truck in Buffalo serving vegan food and vegetarian food. They're called Edgy Veggie. They're a sister duo, and they've started this food truck, and they are now on the streets. Actually, today, July 9th, they were at, or maybe still are at, the South Buffalo Farmers Market in Casanova Park. They'll also be there in Casanova Park for the Farmers Market on the 30th. They'll be at Samuel's Grand Manor, funny enough, which is where we got married. They'll be in Samuel's Grand Manor in Clarence on July 19th. And they'll be at the M&T Concert Series on Wednesdays. That's in Buffalo at 345 Main Street. Wednesdays, July 12th, July 19th, July 26th from 11:30 to 1:30.
Cool.
So if you're in the Buffalo area, go support them. I've already heard really great feedback about their food.
We're going to have to get up there and give it a try.
Yeah, from people who were at the market today and tried it out. So, yeah, we'll have to check it out and we'll report back on that.
Sure will.
We have a postponement.
We do. This
week's Vegan Cookbook Challenge recipe of the week has been postponed.
It has. With all of the craziness kind of surrounding the wedding, and I started a new rehearsal process this weekend for another show, and so it just kind of got a little bonkers towards the end of the week. And
we ran out of time.
And that happens sometimes. So just so you know, what we were supposed to talk about,
which we will talk about next week.
No.
Why not?
We decided we were just going to forego this week's recipe and then move forward on the schedule with a listener recipe next week.
Okay, and then we'll come back to this one.
We'll come back to this one in 3 weeks for our next cookbook challenge.
And what will it be?
It will be the roasted sweet potato and asparagus po' boy from the cookbook Vegetable Kingdom by Bryant Terry.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to that.
Me too.
Yeah.
If you are not familiar with Bryant Terry, he is a heavyweight in the vegan world, and his cookbooks are absolutely phenomenal. So I'm really, really looking forward to this.
Me too. And just because I want a po' boy.
Well, that too.
I want a po' boy.
All right, so we'll make you one.
I'm looking forward to it.
All righty then.
Yeah, all right. So yeah, we'll skip it and then come back to it in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that brings us to our Noteworthy section. We're just zooming through. In our Noteworthy section, we're going to talk about an animal advocacy group, which turns out to be PETA, who used AI to rewrite the Bible to make it vegan friendly.
So PETA used an AI application, essentially,
ChatGPT,
called ChatGPT, to modify the book of Genesis with a vegan twist. The new version refers to animals as beings and proposes the use of plants for clothing instead of animal skins. So people for the ethical treatment of animals, better known as PETA, claim that they want to appeal to the younger generation with their cruelty-free story of creation. According to Ingrid Newkirk, PETA president, the Bible has long been used to justify all forms of oppression. So we used ChatGPT to make it clear that a loving God would never endorse exploitation of or cruelty of animals.
I can get with that.
I can too. In PETA's version of the book of Genesis, Abraham befriends a gentle lamb to demonstrate his respect for God's creation, instead of sacrificing a ram to show his faith. Another example of a change can be found in chapter 21, which explains the conception of Isaac and how they added a dog named Herbie to the family.
I like that, Herbie.
Yeah.
Herbie.
PETA's version of the story reads, as they walked with Herbie, Sarah and Abraham thought of the importance of adopting dogs from shelters and rescue organizations rather than purchasing them from breeders. They spoke of how buying a dog or cat from a breeder or pet shop contributes to the companion animal overpopulation crisis, as countless dogs and cats in shelters await loving homes while breeders continue to produce more puppies and kittens for profit. PETA's vegan Bible sparked controversy among Christians who criticized the revised version on social media. Some users called for the organization to be sued, while others described them as blasphemous fools.
I don't understand. What would you sue them for? How could you sue them? There are multitudinous versions of the Christian Bible.
Yes, there are.
I don't exactly know what they would be sued for.
I don't either.
Now, don't get me wrong. I can see how a very strict Christian person might balk at the story of adopting dogs and cats from shelters instead of buying them from breeders being inserted into their Bible. They might balk at that. I can understand that. But any other thing that ChatGPT did to eliminate animal sacrifice, the uses of animal skins, why would you be against that?
Well, just to play devil's advocate, and I think that what PETA has done with this is pretty great. And actually, I'd kind of like to read their version.
It'd be interesting.
I'd be very interested in that. But just to play devil's advocate for a moment, there are many Christians and people of many faiths who believe that the holy literature associated with their faith is the direct word.
The word of God.
Yeah. And so therefore feel that it being tampered with is somehow threatening and certainly inappropriate. And I can understand that. Not having such a belief system.
Yeah, I guess if you put it that way, I can also understand that. I guess I always look at it as like these are stories written by men.
Yes.
Stories passed down from generation to generation.
Yes.
Of men.
Yes.
And I don't really see the Bible as the word of God because, I don't know, God doesn't have a word processor. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I can't, I think that I've read a lot of the holy texts in the world, and I find all of them to be fascinating, and all of them are really kind of incredible stories and great literature in a lot of ways. But I don't see them as, the recorded word of one or many entities. Yeah. Exactly. So, especially when we're talking about the Christian Bible, when you know that it was orchestrated and constructed by a council of men, which chapters to include, which chapters to exclude, Gospels by females were excluded. And,
right.
So that makes me think of it with a bit of, skepticism.
Yeah, both of us probably come at it with a little more skepticism than the average person. So yeah, but it's interesting.
It is very interesting.
It's interesting what ChatGPT came up with.
Yes, and I would like to read that in its entirety. And but I can also see why Christians of certain denominations would find this in some way threatening,
Blasphemous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they have every right.
Oh, they have every right to feel that way.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm just not sure what they would sue PETA for.
Well, neither do I.
Yeah.
I don't think there's. I don't think there's a logical reason for a lawsuit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I just thought that was interesting and appropriately enough, noteworthy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hence its placement in our noteworthy section.
Yes. All right, you want to move on to our main topic?
Let's do it.
This week's main topic is vegan bucket lists. You might want to get a pad and pencil, because these are like places you might want to go, things you might want to do, restaurants you might want to visit, foods you might want to try, all before you kick the proverbial bucket. Right?
Sure. And so we have a trio of lists.
Yes, we do.
That we are going to run through. The first is PETA's bucket list. So we have a little segue from the noteworthy into the main topic, bringing some PETA information with us. And the first item on PETA's vegan bucket list is to master a vegan recipe and make it your own.
Yeah, I think that we can
safely say that we have done that.
Yeah, I think we can safely say that we have put that in our bucket.
Yes, that is in the bucket.
Yeah.
Mission complete.
Yes.
Number 2 is to put your First Amendment rights to good use and take part in a PETA demonstration.
Yeah, we have not done that.
We have not.
No. And it doesn't necessarily have to be, I know this is a PETA article, so of course they're encouraging you to take part in a PETA demonstration, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a PETA demonstration. Maybe just take part in any animal rights demonstration.
Absolutely. Any organization that is close to you, that you feel strongly connected to.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree with that completely. Number 3, visit an animal sanctuary with a non-vegan friend or family member.
That's really cool, because we have visited animal sanctuaries, but never with a non-vegan.
No.
The closest we've gotten to that is the Pittsburgh Veg Fest with your brother and Lucy.
Yes.
And we did spend some time with the Pigsburg
Squealers,
which is a pig sanctuary in the Pittsburgh area.
Yeah.
So that's the closest we've gotten to that.
Yeah. But we haven't managed to, take our families with us to
a full-on sanctuary.
To Mockingbird Farms or to Farm Sanctuary.
Yeah.
That kind of a thing. All right. Number 4 on their list is to adopt a companion animal from an open admission shelter. We have done that.
Well, we have certainly done that.
More than once.
Yes.
And we will probably do so again.
Probably. That's funny. That this kind of reminds me of a topic that I think we might want to talk about on a future episode, but I saw someone challenging someone else who actually works at a veterinary clinic, and they were talking about animal adoption. Mm-hmm. And someone posed the argument that vegans should not adopt animals, especially cats, because they're abject carnivores.
I can understand that argument.
Yeah.
Completely.
But I can also understand the argument on the other side is, look, we didn't bring these animals into the world, but we're trying to give them a home, a safe place to live where they're not on the streets, getting injured or diseased, or creating more unwanted animals.
Yes.
That will just end up in shelters.
That's right.
So, yeah, there's both, but we'll talk about it, I think, on a future episode.
Yeah, I think so. I completely understand that argument. And I know that, the one space in our veganism that is not 100% is with our companion animals, because we still feed them food that has animal
products,
products
yep.
in it. And I don't love that.
I don't either.
We tried
Yeah.
to switch them to vegan food.
They didn't really like it.
They didn't really like it.
Yeah.
But that is still something that I would like to investigate. I would love to talk to our vet about it.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, it'd be interesting just to see what her
thoughts on
thoughts
it
are on
because I would love to be able to take that step.
Yeah.
For the time being, though, I think it's important that our lovely quartet of fuzzy friends are happy and healthy.
Yeah.
And, it's our responsibility to ensure that.
Right. I mean, that's the responsibility you take on when you adopt a rescue animal. So.
Absolutely. And also, we were both animal lovers and the adoptees of companion animals before we were vegan.
Sure.
And so there's no way we're going to suddenly toss the cats into a shelter because we're vegan.
Right. That doesn't make sense.
No, it
But let's
doesn't.
save this deeper discussion for another episode because I think it is an interesting subject.
Okay. I'll stop.
And maybe we will talk to our vet and come back and tell you what
Yeah. I think
what
that would
she
be
says.
great.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Back to the list.
back to the list. The last one on PETA's list is to inspire someone else to go vegetarian or vegan.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we aspire to inspire
Yes,
every
I
time
think that's
we're
a good way to put it.
every time we're out in like a public forum situation.
For sure.
I guess your father is a good example.
Yeah. He is not fully vegetarian or fully vegan, but he's certainly moved in that direction, more for health reasons than for anything else. And, we did have a bit of a hand in that. And so I think we can it's like a half bucket thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can put half of that in the bucket.
We actually have 4 lists. I know it looks like there's
sorry.
5.
I thought it was only 3.
That's because I didn't put a space between the 2.
Oh, look at you. Yeah, now I see it.
Yeah, it's my bad. Mm-hmm. But the next bucket list of vegan things comes from World of Lena, which is a vegan travel and vegan food lover
Nice.
website. And it's the 8 best vegan travel destinations to add to your bucket list.
Ooh, okay. This will be fun.
Number 1 on the list is Greece. And I have heard numerous people say that Greece is a fabulous place for vegans.
Yeah, I mean, and Greece is on my list anyway.
Yeah.
So just knowing that it's also very, very vegan friendly just kind of bumps it up the list a little bit. One of the great things about Greek food is that many of their dishes are vegan by default.
Right. Mediterranean food in general, right?
Exactly. And so also the primary religion in Greece is Christian Orthodoxy, where fasting periods are standard. And for example, during Lent, people are prevented from eating animal products during Lent. And so the elimination of meat from the diet is not something that is either unusual or controversial.
Yeah. So if you're planning on going to Greece, go during Lent.
Absolutely.
Because I bet the restaurants have more vegan dishes available because people are abstaining from eating meat. Mm-hmm. There's a couple of dishes that they talk about on here, but I'm not going to try and pronounce them. Would you like to try and pronounce them?
Sure. Dolmadakia yalansi.
Which is commonly called dolmas.
Dolmas,
Yeah.
yes, stuffed grape leaves. Okay, usually in amongst the rice is ground beef, but you can often ask the restaurant to make it vegan. Others are gemista, which is a favorite of mine, stuffed tomatoes and peppers with rice.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you can't go wrong with a Greek salad, minus the feta.
Yeah.
And of course,
you can always use vegan feta.
You can always use vegan feta. And of course, spanakopita.
Our favorite, at
Yes.
least my favorite Greek dish is spanakopita.
And even though it also traditionally contains feta cheese, you can find options that do not contain dairy.
Number 2 on the destination bucket list is Berlin.
Berlin. Yes, Berlin. I don't know. I'm kind of fascinated by Germany.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly why, but I'm kind of fascinated with Germany. And I've passed through it, but I've never gotten to stop and see it. I went on a bus trip through Germany on my way to the Czech Republic, and but I didn't get to stop and see anything, which for me was kind of a bummer. But also, when we were at the AVA Summit last fall, there was a film showed that dealt with the vegan scene in various parts of Germany.
Yeah.
And I was just completely enchanted.
Yeah.
And really, really wanted to just get on a plane and go.
I know. And somebody I follow, that we follow, I say we because it's our podcast page. But of course, Sam doesn't go on it.
I don't.
On Instagram. And I believe her Instagram handle is Plant-Based Adventurer.
Okay.
I think it's Plant-Based Adventurer. And she recently moved out of the United States over to, I believe, Norway. Mm-hmm. But she was recently in Berlin and said Berlin is seriously a hot spot for vegan food.
Yeah. So, the next time we go across the pond, we might have to prioritize a little side jaunt to Berlin or something.
I think it would be fascinating to see Berlin.
Oh God.
Yes. There's so much history
and,
there.
Yes. That's Germany in general and Berlin in particular are really, really, really high.
And this
on the list.
this article in particular says that Berlin is one of the vegan capitals of the world.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty great.
Yeah.
Although, per our vegan trivia, we know what the vegan capital of the world is.
Yeah, what is it again?
Tel Aviv.
That's right, Tel Aviv.
All right. So next on the list of cities you must visit is New York.
New York, New York.
The city's so nice, they named it twice.
That's right.
Yes. So New York, as you might expect, has a huge and growing vegan food scene.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And we have not made it to New York as a couple to go exploring just yet. We have to do that at some point.
I know. I want to take the train like you did.
We'll take the train.
Yeah.
One of these days we'll set up a journey and we'll take the train to New York and do, some foodie stuff. But I can tell you that if you're in New York and you go on Happy Cow, the list is incredible.
Oh, it's overwhelming.
Absolutely overwhelming.
Overwhelming.
New York is not my cup of tea as a city.
It's a stinky, loud, crowded.
There are areas of it that I like.
Sure.
Like when I was there a few weeks ago and went to Plant Burger and I went to the location that was right across from Bryant Park.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me, I do really like this particular area.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Bryant Park is great.
When I think New York, I always think like Times Square and all that chaos.
Ooh, yes.
But when you get into the different neighborhoods or in the village or, there's lots of great little corners of New York City.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There really are. But as a whole, it's not my cup of tea. I would much rather go to a European city.
Yeah. We're not city mice.
No, we're country mice.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. All right. Oh, the next one is all yours.
Florence. Yes. Mm-hmm. To your surprise, Italian food can also be vegan. Yeah, no surprise there.
No, none at all.
Right? I mean, you can consume pizza without cheese in pizzerias. Just order vegetariana or marinara. Just say you're vegano.
Exactly.
Yep. Sono vegano. Just remember that phrase.
You can even take a vegan food tour.
Let's
in
do
the
that.
City. Yes, please. Where a guide will show you some delicious restaurants serving vegan dishes like cecina, breakfast cornetto, gelato, panzanella, and papa al pomodoro and ribollita.
I want all those things.
Yes, I think we should get all of those things.
Yeah, there was a recent tour with Miyoko Shinner.
Oh, really?
An Italian tour.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't know how. I'm guessing it's kind of steep.
I would imagine.
But that would be really fun. And it's a small group. It's usually, like 10 people or whatever. Mm-hmm. And Miyoko, of course. And she shows you around to all of her favorite places in Italy to eat vegan food.
Nice.
That would be fun.
Love that. Number 5 on the list. We're heading to Asia. It's Bangkok.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my, Thailand.
Yeah.
Okay, another big one on my list. I actually think I fell in love with Bangkok long before I ever knew where Bangkok was because of the song One Night in Bangkok from the
Chess?
musical Chess. Yeah, I don't know why, but I love that song. I think it's
One
hysterical.
night in Bangkok.
Yes, I think it's hysterical and fabulous all at the same time.
Yeah.
And now I think I need to include that in my musical theater dance class next semester.
You should. I had a friend when Chess was on Broadway that was obsessed with the soundtrack. Every time I was at his house, that's what he had on the stereo.
And the soundtrack, honestly, is really underrated. It's
interesting.
far better than people give it credit for.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, the soundtrack or the original score to Chess was written by the boys from ABBA.
That's right.
Yes. And so, I don't know, maybe it's because I was raised to be an ABBA fan.
Right.
And then One Night in Bangkok came out and I thought it was brilliant. So anyway.
The music's really interesting.
It is.
I've never seen the show, Chess. Have you seen the show?
Not in its entirety, no.
It gets so it's polarizing.
Yeah.
You know? Some people are like, what the heck was that? And some people were like, that was fantastic.
Well,
I've
that's
never
true
seen
of
it.
many shows.
Yeah.
So. All right.
So yeah, Bangkok.
Yes.
Go to Bangkok. There's apparently tons and tons of great vegan food in Bangkok.
Yes. So Mangswariat is the term for being vegetarian in Thailand. However,
What is that again? So I can remember when we go.
Mangswariat.
Mangsawrat. Or J. I'm just going to stick with J.
You go with J.
Or J.
Right, because the Mangswariat diet actually includes eggs.
Oh, okay.
So J is probably better.
Yeah.
So when you're checking out menus, most restaurants in Bangkok will usually label their vegetarian dishes as Mangsawrat or J, depending on the ingredients used. With that said, one must-visit place in Bangkok is May Veggie Home. The restaurant serves pure vegan cuisine and is known to be one of the city's top vegan restaurants, and it is frequently visited by both locals and tourists.
Yeah. If you're keeping score at home, write that on your list.
Yes.
The next city on the list, Reykjavik.
That's Reykjavik.
Reykjavik.
That's Reykjavik. Yes, Iceland, another spot that I am absolutely dying to go to. You may have figured it out by now. I'm really kind of obsessed with seeing the world.
Travel is the most mind-opening thing that you can do in your life, I think.
And there really is nothing that I enjoy more than going to see new places and having new experiences and just absolutely phenomenal. So I actually was hoping on my way home from Wales a few years ago to stop in Reykjavik for a couple of days.
Right. I remember you mentioned you might try to do that.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it was a little bit outside of the budget. And so instead of heading to Reykjavik on my way home, I spent a few days in London instead, which was delightful. And I wouldn't trade that. But anyway, Reykjavik, Iceland is definitely among the up-and-coming vegan travel destinations. It has tons of delicious vegan food, everything from traditional Icelandic comfort foods like hearty soups and bread to burgers, pizzas, and dessert. You can find vegan options pretty much everywhere, including supermarkets and restaurants that are happy to make their meals vegan. Glow is a local restaurant with several locations in the city that serves delicious and healthy food using local and organic ingredients like soups, salads, sandwiches, and has a variety of treats like brownies and tiramisu. Enjoy an awesome lunch with creamy broccoli soup, peanut satay fried tofu, veggies, potato salad, coleslaw, raw sprouted crackers, and hummus.
I'm there.
I'm there.
Yeah, put that on your list. It's Glow. G-L-O.
G-L-O. Yeah, you had me at soup. Like traditional Icelandic comfort foods like hearty soups. I'm there.
Of all the things.
I love soup.
You had me at soup.
Well, yeah, I'm getting excited partially. We're getting ready to go to Toronto at the end of August for a weekend.
Yeah.
And, I'm super excited that we're going to stop at the Hamilton Market and get some soup from Apothecary Kitchen.
The next city on our list is a city in Cambodia. How do you say this city?
Siem Reap.
Siem Reap.
It is firmly on the map as the place to go in Cambodia to visit the amazing Angkor Wat, which really does live up to the hype. It's hot, dusty, and a little crazy at times, but it's also got quite a growing vegan scene. If you know where to look, there are loads of vegan options, including accidentally vegan Cambodian street food.
Gotta love that.
Gotta love that. Local restaurants that are happy to leave out the animal products, cafes that serve soy or nut milk in their coffees, vegan-friendly fine dining, and even places with raw vegan cake.
Raw vegan cake. That's
Yes.
interesting.
Yes.
One local favorite food in this city comes straight from the street, and it's called Nom Heng, sweet sesame lace puffy fried bread.
Hello.
You have me at fried bread.
Indeed. Me too.
You'll find people selling them on the side of the street from little carts, and it's best to get them when they've been freshly cooked for a full, irresistible vegan street food effect.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. So, when we go to...
Sesame laced puffy fried dough.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, you're speaking my language.
So when we go to Bangkok,
Yeah.
we can hit Cambodia on the way back and then head up to Iceland. And, we can. Let's try to do all of these in one trip. Like,
Oh my
hello.
God, that would be crazy.
Okay. And last but not least, number 8, Slovenia.
Yeah, Slovenia.
So if in Slovenia, head to the center of Ljubljana and check out Odprta Kuna. Every Friday from March through October, culinary wizards gather to form Odprta Kuna, meaning open kitchen, and dish out the best of local and international cuisine from around Slovenia. With 9 vegan stalls, from burgers to falafel, you'll want to sample everything. Head to Barbarella and sample both the savory and sweet options like spot-on curry and decadent chocolate mousse. For lunch, dinner, or both, head to one of Slovenia's 5 Loving Hut locations. As a popular vegan restaurant chain, the Ljubljana Center location offers a remarkably affordable buffet with daily rotating choices. Gotta love a vegan buffet.
Come on.
Whereas
I'm sorry, I'm still thinking about the sesame-laden fried dough.
Yeah, Christine will be out of it for the rest of the podcast.
Ooh, fried dough. Mm-hmm. Fried dough.
Whereas the Maribor Loving Hut serves international cuisine like kung pao, chow mein, and kebab. Finally, don't leave Ljubljana without savoring the gelato. Though Italy is king of gelato, Slovenian gelato makers claim to have been making gelato for just as long as their neighbors. Visit Zvezda with a large variety of vegan options, including several berry flavors and rich dark chocolate. Just down the road, enjoy gelato while sitting in the swings that serve as chairs at Aroma, which entices passersby with handmade choices such as strawberry with fresh mint and lemon with basil. So now we just need to make a map. Like starting...
we should get
starting
like
from-
a world map and like circle places.
Well, I've been wanting to do that forever.
Yeah.
Like for years.
Where do we put
I
it?
had on my wish list
A map.
a
big
map with the pins
Oh, yeah.
where you can, put where you've been and where you want
Where you
to
wanna
be.
go.
Right. Exactly. I've had
Yeah, we
that-
just need to find a place for it.
Yeah, I'm sure we could manage. We have
As we look around this room.
ample wall space.
Well, we'll discuss this off air.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a good idea. Getting a map and like mapping out like places we want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bucket list map. Mm-hmm. The next list is 5 things to complete your vegan bucket list, and these are things to do, must do things. Yeah, and the first thing on this list is to veganize a traditional recipe, which is something we always recommend.
We do that all the time.
Especially new vegans.
Yes.
If you don't know where to start when it comes to cooking vegan, take all the traditional recipes that you've eaten all of your life and try to veganize them.
Absolutely. So regardless of your heritage, take your lasagna and veganize it.
Yeah.
Take your colcannon and veganize it.
Yeah.
Colcannon's really easy. You just have to swap out the butter.
Yeah.
Take anything that you've grown up with. Take any Asian dishes that you've grown up with. Literally just about anything is veganizable.
Yeah.
So anything that you love, anything that you've grown up with, take that recipe and veganize it.
And then here's one we were just discussing. Go on a completely vegan holiday.
We have done that, and we will do that many more times.
Yeah.
Yes. So experiencing an all-inclusive vegan holiday is a trip like no other. Unlike regular vacations, wherein you'll have to be concerned as to whether there will be vegan food available or if you'll be having to use animal-tested and sourced products, with an all-inclusive vegan cruise, you don't have to concern yourself with any of those. Oh, I misread this because we have not gone on a vegan cruise.
And we won't. I'm not a fan of cruises, so...
Yeah.
No.
So cruise is probably not in our future, but, we have definitely traveled as vegans and will do so in the future.
Yeah. I just feel like with the cruise, you're like kind of captive on the boat and you're missing so much you could be seeing in the places that you're sailing around.
Yeah. I would much rather get to a place and get to know it.
Right.
Than spend a ton of time in the transit.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, my whole dream is still... trains all over Europe and Asia.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
That's my bucket thing.
Yeah.
Is see everything that I possibly can.
Yeah.
And, and if we can toss other continents in there too, that's great.
Sure.
But yeah, trains. I'm there.
You have me at trains and soup.
Trains and soup. It's all I need.
Number 3. All right, go ahead.
Volunteer at an animal shelter. Actually, this one's not exclusively recommended for vegans. Everyone should give a bit of their time to rescues and animals in need. Volunteering at a shelter and working with these animals will really give you an insight into your place in the world and how it's your responsibility to watch out for these creatures who can't always do it for themselves. Don't forget, the most important part here is that you get to provide unappreciated animals the love they deserve. And who knows, you might go home with a new furry friend. Or 3.
Yeah, or 4. And that brings us to 4 on the list, which this goes back to the last list we just talked about.
It does.
Visit the most vegan places in the world.
And they mention, for starters, Berlin is known to be the home of the biggest vegan supermarket in the world. I definitely want to see that.
Yeah.
As well as an incredible amount of fine vegan restaurants and cafes. And Tel Aviv is also known to be a vegan haven with a great percentage of their citizens being vegan themselves.
Yeah. Number 5 on the list is establish lifelong connections with other vegans. And I think this could be, of all the things we've talked about so far, this can be one of the most difficult things to do.
Oddly enough, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially as adults, it's hard to make friends, period, let alone to find vegan friends.
Sure.
And maintain those relationships because our lives are so busy. And
I know that I'm really grateful for, the relationships and friendships that we've established just through becoming more of a part of the Buffalo vegan community and, and through doing this podcast, really. It's kind of awesome.
Yeah, we've curated some really great relationships through this podcast. So
yeah, and we always look forward to seeing all of those wonderful faces when, we go to the vegan center or we're doing a veg fest or something like that. It's not just about the event itself. It's about knowing that we're going to see these wonderful people.
Yeah. So those are some things you can do on your bucket list. And then this last one talks about travel and festivals, which we love.
We sure do.
Yeah, so this one comes from Veg News, and it's 8 vegan food festivals you'll never want to leave.
Okay, so the first festival they recommend is Vegan Exchange. Free to the public, the Vegan Exchange weekly vegan market showcases over 100 vegan vendors from 11 a.m. until 5 p.m. The food options are often intermixed with live music, as well as a beer garden, and it's the best of vegan LA, all contained within a city street. Weekly.
I know, doesn't it? It's just not fair.
It's not.
The people in LA don't know how good they have it.
Seriously.
Yeah.
100 vegan vendors in one place every week.
Every week. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. That's why people who move away from LA are flabbergasted at the lack of vegan food, no matter where they go.
Right.
Because they're spoiled.
Oh, my God. Well, if we ever get out to LA, we will have to experience this.
Yeah.
Yeah. No question.
Yeah, next up on this list is the Vegan Street Fair in New York, which takes place on May 20th. Vegan Street Fair used to be a Los Angeles-only event, but this year, after 9 years of operation, it's growing. Its next stop is the Bronx, New York. It's free to enter, and attendees can expect 50-plus food vendors, musical entertainment, and a whole lot of fun. If you're not around for this event, don't worry. Throughout the year, Vegan Street Fair will also be heading to Atlanta on June 17th, and that passed. Oh, here's one you can go to that hasn't passed. It's in Seattle. The Vegan Street Fair in Seattle is July 29th. And in Oakland, August 26th. Denver is September 23rd. Austin, Texas is October 7th. And Vegas, November 4th. And the last but not least, which we would never attend, Miami, Florida, November 18th. Sorry, Florida.
Don't diss on Miami.
Dissing on Florida.
No need to diss on Florida. Those of you who are in Florida, pay her no mind.
Well, not the people of Florida, just their government and the stupid things they do.
Well, there's that.
Yeah. But so, yeah, the Vegan Street Fair, whoa, they're all over the place now.
Yeah, they are. Another fest that tends to make its way all over the country is the Vegandale Veg Fest.
They've grown significantly.
Yes. And so Veg News is specifically recommending Vegandale Chicago, which happened on June 10th, which was our wedding anniversary.
Yeah.
Vegandale is more than a food festival. With DJs, art, photo ops, and live music from Rick Ross, it's an all-out party you won't want to miss. More than 150 vendors from around the globe are confirmed for Vegandale Chicago, alongside local favorites. If you can't make it to the Windy City, Vegandale is also heading to New York, September 16th, Toronto on September 23rd, Dallas on October 14th, LA on October 28th, and Miami on December 2nd.
Yeah, and we managed to make it to the Toronto Vegandale Festival. Was that just last year or the year before?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. And it was a blast.
We did have a blast.
Yeah.
Now, there weren't
So
150 vendors.
No, but there were a ton of vendors.
There were a ton, but Toronto is apparently not quite as large as Chicago is.
Well, I think we were there the first year it was held.
After COVID,
Yeah.
you're right. So that's probably why it was smaller.
Yeah, it's probably grown since then.
Good point. Good point. Yeah, so we had a blast at Vegandale Toronto a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And definitely recommend it.
Yeah. Number 4 on their list of fests that you don't want to miss is the Colorado Veg Fest, which is July 29th and 30th. I love that it's 2 days. Mm-hmm. If you've always wanted an excuse to visit the Mile High City, now you have one. Veg Fest Colorado is the state's largest vegan festival. And although details are still being worked out and vendors are still being added to the roster, the venue is set. It's Tivoli Quad on the Raria campus that will host the collective of vegan awesomeness. Keep your eyes on the event's Instagram page for more.
Next, we have the Berkeley Food Festival on September 3rd. Despite Berkeley, California's long reputation for vegan eats, its first vegan festival didn't emerge until 2021. This year, the aptly named Berkeley Food Festival is back again and bigger than ever. Expect over 75 vegan-friendly vendors, along with hard kombucha and seltzer tasting for the 21 and up crowd, live performances, and free samples from select booths. Ticket sales will go toward the Herd and Flock Animal Sanctuary.
Oh, I like that.
Gotta love that.
Number 6 on this list is the Montreal Vegan Festival.
Oh, that would be a dream.
Which is also a 2-day event. It's September 30th and October 1st. It doesn't matter whether you speak English or French or neither. Veganism is a universal language. At Montreal's Best Vegan Festival, attendees can be sure to find a dizzying abundance of Quebec's best plant-based options. And if last year's event is anything to go by, there will also be cooking demos, lectures and workshops, and non-food exhibitors. As with all of these events, look to the organization's Instagram for the latest updates on vendors and ticket sales. Montreal, that would be fun.
That would be great. And now here's one I think we really need to do. I think we actually need to start looking into flights right now for this one. VegFest UK.
Okay.
November 18th and 19th.
Yes.
I think we need to go. We've been talking about getting back to the UK in the not too distant future, but we could do it and go to a Veg Fest. London.
That would be awesome.
It would be unbelievable. London is a booming vegan town. We would expect nothing less than fabulous from its signature vegan festival. The 2-day event is one of the UK's largest indoor festivals, and this year it's coming back in November, according to VegFest UK's Instagram. Expect to choose from hundreds, okay, note plural hundreds of vendors amongst thousands of attendees. Bring your own reusable utensils and to-go containers.
Yeah, little tip. When you go to VegFest, if you go to VegFest, always bring a bag. And in that bag, like a reusable shopping bag or something. And in that bag, bring a couple of to-go containers.
Yes, because the unfortunate thing about veg fests is that your stomach is not large enough to eat everything you want to eat.
Yeah, and unfortunately your wallet's usually not
that too.
Large enough to buy all the food you want to eat.
That's also true.
Yeah.
But, picking out a few things that you think will travel well, like for example, if there's Indian food on offer or if there's chili on offer, things that will travel well if you put them in a to-go container kind of a thing. Take them home, heat them up, so you still get the experience without the pain of trying to stuff everything
right.
in that you want to stuff.
And let's face it, things just don't taste as good if you're already full.
It's true. They don't. You're absolutely right. See, I'm checking my calendar right now.
Oh, she's going to the calendar.
I am, because I'm serious about this. That would be the greatest thing ever. And that could be our Christmas. That could be it. No presents.
Right. Well, yeah, there wouldn't be.
There couldn't be. But I'm just seeing it's the weekend before Thanksgiving break.
Oh.
We could leave on the 16th and come back before Thanksgiving.
Oh, well, it might be doable.
We have to look into this.
We will look into this.
Yes. So excited.
Number 8 on the list, while Sam is over there, gets giddy with excitement over the UK Veg Fest. Is the Seed Food and Wine Festival, which takes place in January 2024. So if you want to escape the winter weather, wherever you are, and head down to Miami for 5 days of vegan eats, chef demos, live music, and more, this multifaceted celebration of plant-based cuisine is the premier vegan event of the season. Keep your eyes on the website for early bird rates. That's the Seed Food and Wine Festival.
Nice.
Interesting that nothing in the name of the festival indicates that it's vegan.
No, that is interesting.
But I have a feeling that seed is an anagram.
Yes, I just
something.
don't know what for.
I don't either.
You mean an acronym?
That's what I mean. Yes, an acronym. Thank you.
Because that would not be an anagram.
No.
I'm kind of like D's.
D's. Yeah. No,
Edis.
yes.
So, sorry, I'm just making other words out of seed.
Yeah. No, it's not an anagram. It's an acronym. Thank you.
No problem.
And that was the last one on this list from Veg News of vegan festivals. We love vegan festivals.
We do. And seriously, we have to make VegFest UK happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's doable.
That would be unreal.
Yeah.
And then we wouldn't have to do Christmas.
We wouldn't have to do Christmas.
That's not what I mean. I love doing Christmas, but
presents, you mean?
But in terms of presents,
Yeah.
we could just make that our gift to each other.
Yeah,
and
but that won't happen because we like to open things.
we'll discuss it.
Yeah, we'll discuss it. So that wraps up our main topic of bucket lists. I hope you were keeping track of some of these things that you want to put on your own bucket list because there was a lot of really good suggestions in there.
Really good stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. Love it.
I know we probably should have been writing things down.
Oh, I've got them all in my head.
Yeah. Well, I can always save the show notes, and so we'll have them there.
Perfect.
Yeah. But that brings us to our reason of the week to be vegan.
Well, I think this was not the reason that I was going to do when we were initially setting up for this episode, but I've just run across it. And since we were just talking about veg fests and how fun they are, this seems appropriate.
Okay.
So this is reason number 30 from 72 Reasons to be Vegan, Why Plant-Based, Why Now by Jean Stone and Kathy Freston. And that reason is martinis, coffee, fun. Life is meant to be enjoyed. No one is interested in subsisting on boring bowls of lettuce and steamed broccoli. Yeesh, no thanks. Nor are we all interested in meditating for long stretches of the day or sermonizing about what's wrong with the world or wagging our fingers at what must be changed right now. Not that there's anything wrong with that. People often used to think that vegans lived like righteous monks. That just ain't so. We're as fun-loving as everyone else, and eating good food is a big part of feeling alive and connected. Are we interested in being healthy? Sure, but not so much that we can't partake in life's pleasures from time to time. Kathy loves vodka martinis, and Jean likes a little cannabis. Both are vegan. Vegan pizza and Beyond Burgers may not be considered health foods, but they're a hell of a lot better than eating the trans fat and cholesterol-filled animal proteins or dealing with the environmental destruction and cruelty associated with eating meat and cheese. You can enjoy your cup of joe in the morning. It's just a matter of subbing out the cow's milk for soy creamer or oat milk. You get the same buzz, but without the lactose hangover. This way of living brings joy, and it feels good. Your body feels good because you have more energy to be present in life and appreciative of all it has to offer. Your mind feels good because your brain is sharp and you've figured out how to become part of the solution instead of the problem. You feel more plugged in to your community because you know you are helping lift it to a better place. You feel confident because people notice something different about you and they want to know your secret. So carry on, relax, and enjoy. Most of what you have in your daily mix is already vegan. All the fixings on the sandwich or burger, the fries on the side, the stuff in your smoothie. You just need to switch out that animal dreck for a cleaner protein. If you eat a muffin with some egg in it, don't worry. Just look for a better version on the next go-round. You don't need to torture waiters or be the creep at the dinner party. Think of this journey like a sport you're learning. Get better at it all the time and have fun on the way. None of us should be forced to white-knuckle our way through life, saying no to foods that make us feel content. There are plenty of things that are fun and can be vegan. Burgers and fries, Oreo cookies, movies, popcorn, dancing, protein smoothies, cannabis, ice pops at the beach, hanging out with your friends and pets, sandwiches, traveling to new places, daydreaming, cocktails with friends. All you need to do is keep making progress, and don't worry about perfection. You don't have to live on a higher plane of existence and be holier than thou toward everyone else. You don't have to go to vegan-only restaurants and have vegan-only friends. And you certainly don't have to give up all your vices.
No, I'm living proof of that. French fries, too many beers.
I have not given up chocolate. That's for
sure. No, you have not.
Mm-mm.
There's plenty of good vegan chocolate out there.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah. So, yeah, try and make it fun because life is short.
Truly.
Hey, guess what?
What?
It's time for our listener shout out.
Hey!
Just want to give a shout out to all my fans watching. I love you guys. I love you.
This week's shout out goes to Judith Toy Midiga, owner of the vegan grocery store, active in the vegan community in the Buffalo area, loving mother and grandmother, married to her husband Joe, who is also a listener of the show. She was also a fierce competitor from Team Broccoli at our vegan trivia night. Judith, please contact us with your t-shirt size and address so we can send you a CNC swag bag.
Please do. And thank you for listening so much, Joe and Judith. We would send Joe a t-shirt, but he actually bought a t-shirt from us.
He did.
At our trivia event. So I think it's only fair that you have one too.
Absolutely.
You can wear them together. You can be twinsies.
Oh, we could see that at Veg Fest.
That would be awesome. If you both wear your Compassionate Cucumbers t-shirts to Veg Fest, we'll give you something. And that brings us to housekeeping.
It does.
So we want to try your vegan recipes. I know I've been asking for your vegan recipes. Send them on in. We want to include them in our listener recipe segment. Email them or DM them to us. All these are all the recipes that you like to make in your home kitchen. They can be your recipes. They can be something you found on the web. Send us the recipe so we can try it and let us know if you want us to share the recipe with our listeners.
That's right. We want to try them and talk them up. So.
Yep.
All right. If you'd like to keep tabs on what we're doing and where we are or where we're going to be in the not too distant future, you can go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube, our newsletter, our Patreon. The links to do all of that are in the show notes. And if you'd like to know what we think of the vegan restaurants that we have visited, you can follow us both on Happy Cow. Christine does her reviews under the name Compassion and Cucumbers, and you can find me at C&C Vegan.
Indeed. And that reminds me, we have a new patron on our Patreon.
Do we really?
And it's Liz, who was last week's listener shout-out.
Oh my gosh, Liz, thank you so much.
Thank you for joining our Patreon community, and enjoy the recipes that are up there, and look forward to some other patron-only content.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Liz, you're a champ. Thank you so much.
Yep. That brings us to our fundraiser, which is a fundraiser for Food Empowerment Project that we're doing on our Buy Me a Coffee site. That's buymeacoffee.com/cucumbers. And I think this is going to be our last Buy Me a Coffee fundraiser, simply because of the fees that Buy Me a Coffee takes. We try to make up for those fees, but I think we might be better off just encouraging you to donate directly to the organization.
Yeah.
So next fundraiser we're going to be doing is really simply, we're going to be encouraging you to donate to whatever the organization.
To them directly.
Yep. so that a third party isn't taking some of the cut.
Yep, I completely agree with that.
But for now, you can donate to Food Empowerment Project. And Food Empowerment Project seeks to create a more just and sustainable world by recognizing the power of one's food choices. They encourage healthy food choices that reflect a more compassionate society by spotlighting the abuse of animals on farms, the depletion of natural resources, unfair working conditions for produce workers, and the unavailability of healthy foods in low-income areas.
Yes, and this is actually an awesome time to give to Food Empowerment Project. Right now, and for about the next 2 weeks, they're going to be running their school supply campaign.
Yes.
So one of the amazing things that Food Empowerment Project does is they create and give backpacks full to bursting of school supplies to the children of migrant farm workers who often have a hard time getting those supplies.
Yeah.
Number one, possibly because they're moving around from place to place, but also because their parents are often not compensated at a level that allows them to provide those school supplies for their children.
Yeah.
And so Food Empowerment Project steps in to help out. And so I really, really, really want to encourage you to donate right now. If you would like to donate supplies instead of money, you can do that very simply by going to your favorite website, whether it's, I'm sorry to say, Amazon.com or any other, and pick out all of the supplies you would like to donate, and you can send them to the Food Empowerment Project directly, and we will put that address in the show notes.
Yeah.
So, but it's a great, great, great thing that they're doing.
Oh, absolutely.
I think as a teacher, this one touches me in particular.
Yeah, Sam sent a significant amount of
massive amount of school supplies
last year when they ran this campaign. I think we sent like a truckload of school supplies.
It was close to it.
Yeah.
It was a lot. I went a little overboard.
Yeah.
But I don't regret it. So
no, but like you said, as a teacher, it kind of, hits you right in the feels.
It really does.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, follow Sam's Etsy site. It's Cucumber Craftworks on Etsy. And look at her beautiful scarves and handmade jewelry, bead art. What else? What else do we have up there now?
Oh, well, now we're doing multiple series of hats. So I've got
hats.
Loads and loads and loads of beanies. I spent about a month making nothing but hats. And so we are just overflowing with hats. But some of them are reversible, some of them are striped, some of them there's all kinds of great things going on. And also, I very recently started a line that I'm calling the Rescue Collection. And they are these wonderful stuffed animals, ranging from about a foot to 16 inches in height. And they each have a little story and their own name. And they are just adorable, huggable, cuddly people. And 25% of all sales from the Rescue Collection will go directly to Mockingbird Farm Animal Sanctuary.
Yeah, they're adorable.
Want to get a listener shout out? Well, then send us a DM or an email letting us know you listen and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, we want to shout you out.
Sure we
leave
do.
us, and if you can, please leave us a review on your podcast app or rate us on your podcast app if it doesn't allow you to actually leave a written review. We like the 5 stars. We won't go on about it.
No, not at all. Please share the show with a friend or family member that you think would enjoy what we do. Also, please feel free to share our social media posts. It is the easiest way to support us, and it costs you nothing at all.
And finally, join the AFA Vegan Voter Hub and give to them if you can. The Agriculture Fairness Alliance is lobbying on our behalf so that our vegan voices are heard. If you want to make real change in the upcoming Farm Bill, join the Vegan Voter Hub at the AFA website.
And that brings us to this week's sign-off. You have just listened to episode 95 of the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast. There's nothing left to say, but where cukes and compassion are always the fashion on the podcast.
Thanks, James.
Have a great week, everyone.
We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
We love you.
Bye.
The end.
Do you want to support the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast? Well, you can do that by joining our Patreon page. We have 3 different levels of support, and all 3 come with their own special bonuses. Hey, you can support the podcast and get yourself some really cool merch. All the links and deets are in the show notes. We'll catch you next week on the next episode of Compassion and Cucumbers.